Hello, everybody. I am Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching the Fall of the House of Usher. Finally, we've been waiting for 2 years for this. Oh!
Episode 1, A Midnight Dreary. What are you looking for?
This is my mom's
Oh,
Edgar Allan Poe book
Poe
from the 60s. And it has illustrations in it. They are as terrifying as you're afraid they are.
Yeah, they're
imagining.
like...
Yeah.
I found it as a child and never fully recovered from it. So this is immensely exciting for me.
I'm gonna flip a little while
we're talking.
Already.
So I am only tangentially familiar with Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the themes and the tropes and some of the names and characters, but I have not done a deep dive. So this is my...
Same, except I lived in Baltimore around the corner from his house. I've been to his house and did the bar crawl of the last night he was alive.
Yeah.
Did he drink himself to death?
That is the theory, but it's all shrouded in mystery because he was like fine and then he wasn't. And he like, the last bar he went to was called The Horse You Rode In On. And that is one of the oldest bars in the country.
That is an exceptional name for a
Yeah.
bar.
And all of the bar stools are saddles. And you can either sit regular or side saddle. But that was the last bar that he was at. And then he was found dead on a park bench. Again,
There's
like...
the monkey.
Ooh,
Yeah.
scary. But all very spooky. And yeah, but like I've actually never read any of the works.
Mhm.
Oh, I've
So-
read like Annabelle Lee and The Raven.
I've read The
The
Raven.
Cask of Amontillado.
And I've read The Telltale Heart.
And The Telltale Heart.
I've watched the Simpsons episode about that.
Which...
You also
Don't
watched that
knock
episode
it.
of Angel.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
she
No, but
buries
the
herself.
Simpsons episodes don't knock it.
No, they're
No,
good.
they're good.
They are oftentimes, if not...
Never more.
Well, I was going to say, if not faithful adaptations, faithful to the spirit.
Yeah. They're kind
So-
of like Wishbone in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I love Wishbone.
Wishbone slapped.
I was very, very excited for this. This is Mike Flanagan's last Netflix project, and he's leaving Netflix for Amazon because...
Well, we'll see. Everyone's canceling all of their contracts.
That's
and
actually very
shit.
true. That's
Just
very,
go to
very...
A24. Go to A24.
Well, it all comes from...
A24 does not have the money to produce his Dark Tower adaptation, so
They might,
maybe.
if they were looking for a horse to bet on,
Yeah.
to break into. Because nothing matters anymore.
The point's made up.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Do whatever
Everything's
you
made
wanna
up
do.
and the
Yeah.
points don't matter.
Yeah.
So he was leaving Netflix largely because they won't produce physical copies.
Amazon's not going to do that either.
They will for him.
Well,
And they do. They will.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And I am a physical media till the day I die. And, maybe not everything, but if it's important to me, I need to own it because I do not trust companies or corporations, as evidenced by this show.
And the continuing SAG strike.
Well, we're not going to talk about reality.
Well, I'm just saying.
So I have loved all of Mike Flanagan's stuff differently.
Mhm.
My least favorite thus far has been Midnight Club, and
Yeah.
I liked that.
And it still was pretty
It was
great.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. The episode where she's driving the car and the tennis ball,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really like,
I forgot how good that episode was. Where she's driving the car. That's a really good
It's
one.
one of the best
Yeah.
episodes.
It was
So,
really good.
and I was nervous. I thought surely this was going to be the one to drop the ball, and we're
Not
off
yet.
to a promising start. There was a lot to absorb, and all I will say is that my brain is at saturation point. So I'm trying my best, but it seems like this is a true Mike Flanagan style. This is
Sprawling ensemble.
yes, and an amalgamation of Edgar Allan Poe's works put in a modern milieu to kind of give it more resonance, maybe. It seems that the Usher house is a very wealthy and powerful family in modern day America. They are the head of a pharmaceutical empire.
Which they sort of stole from a man?
Well, we'll get to that. I'll get to that.
I mean, they had rightful claim to it.
Was he their father?
They were not,
Yes.
but they weren't acknowledged.
So, but if he had no other children, and I mean, if he doesn't, I mean, who knows?
Oh,
Well, I'm still setting the stage. Names are not fully there, so we will try our best. but Bruce Greenwood is playing Roderick Usher, who is the patriarch of the House of Usher, and his sister Madeline is Mary McDonnell. I am terrified of her.
She is spooky.
I need her wig to be like 2 inches shorter. It's a touch too long for me.
Any woman that age with a hairstyle like that knows something.
Yeah.
And I am afraid of her. And this episode only furthered that instinct at every turn, because we flashed forward and backwards through time with the Usher siblings.
Yeah.
It seems that they were Christian Science. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's that
they don't believe in medicine.
Yeah. That God will heal you.
Yeah.
And so their mother.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
God helps those that help themselves.
I sent you that doctor and you turned him away.
Their mother, Annabeth Gish, was the secretary to Richard Longfellow's pharmaceutical guy in the 50s.
Yeah.
He was their father. That was a secret because he was corrupt, I guess.
Well, he also had a wife.
Yeah. Well, she wanted the kids nowhere near him, or...
Well, the wife seemed okay.
I don't think the wife had a clue.
No.
Well, sure, but she didn't. She just was like, "Oh, are those like the kids?"
Eliza's kids. Yeah.
And so she seemed to not know or whatever. But he grabbed Annabeth Gish's arm and was like, "I'm never at the house." And
so
no wire hangers.
She got sick and refused medical help because of her faith. And
so many crucifixes in that bedroom.
It looked like The Exorcist.
Yeah, it did. Too many.
So she either died or suffered some episode. The kids thought she was dead.
I believe she was dead.
Yeah, her face was rotted. She was dead.
Well,
it was dirty from the mud.
No, and
her eye was weird
because she had to punch through pine. It cut her as she was getting out of the grave. It wasn't like that when they buried her.
Oh yeah, no.
Regardless, the kids, because they didn't know what to do, buried her in the yard. She didn't like it.
She was not a fan.
So she got out and went to Longfellow's house and strangled him. And seemingly went home and has just been chilling for several decades.
Yeah, what the hell?
She's a zombie.
We don't know. And I think we might not know.
She also just fell straight down after she killed him, so...
But the not knowing is what's gonna make me like it.
Sure.
I think I might be annoyed if they find a way to explain some of this stuff, because so far, that's the moment that I was on board, is the plot of this episode, and seemingly the show is going to be Roderick talking to...
Auguste Dupin.
Who is the lawyer...
DA.
Yeah. The DA. The family's being sued? Or
well, they
investigated?
73 charges have been brought against Fortunato Pharmaceutical.
Again, saturation point. I cannot remember what's happening in my reality.
So it's like there's
what I just watched.
So it's like anytime that Big Pharma gets sued, it's because too many people have died. So it's like the fen kind of thing.
Yeah, they said that like between 54 and 55,000 people have died from taking
their painkillers,
various drugs.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And he did also invoke the opioid crisis. So I think it's to do with that as well.
So we technically opened up at the funeral of the last three. It was Tania Miller,
Victorine, I think Tamerlane,
Samantha Sloyan,
and was it Frederick or was it Henry Thomas or was it Rahul Kohli?
Both. Four. Was it four?
There was only three. He was like
they're all dead.
All the kids are dead. Every one of the children is dead, and there's also only one grandchild to speak of,
and that's Abra from Dr. Sleep.
Lenore. Yeah.
Lenore. How could I forget?
That's such a good name.
Well, I was quite literally the thought I was holding on to is so far not a name that doesn't just slap.
Okay,
so about that.
All right. So the I guess because Samantha Sloyan said something about one of the bastards. So the true children of Roderick and I guess their mother are Frederick, who's Henry Thomas, Tamerlane, who's Samantha Sloyan, and then I think there was one more. No, it can't be Perry. Maybe it's just those two?
Well, they said 6 kids from 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the two of them are like from the original mother, I believe. And then Kate Siegel's name is Camille L'Espagne, something like that. And then we got Leo Usher and Victorine, and then Perry, whose real name, I guess, is Prospero. Because that's what he was calling the club. I think Victorine is my favorite, because I think Tamerlane is insane.
No, I like Tamerlane.
That is such a dumb name.
Why?
It's
my favorite one.
No, I hate it.
It's my favorite one. Vote down below.
Vote down. And also the thing for me is like, first of all, if my name though was Tamerlane, I would go by the entire thing, not Tammy.
Not Tammy. No.
Her husband called her Tammy.
Or Lane.
Or Lane. Lane would be good too. No. The whole name.
It's Samantha Sloyan, who at this point we have no choice but to stand.
No, she
is. I didn't think we'd get over Bev.
I still can't with Sister Bev. She was insane.
She's the villain for the ages.
Oh yeah,
For the record books.
Yeah.
It's one of because I have watched now Midnight Mass several times.
Yeah.
And she is. It is like funny.
Yeah.
Like how horrible she is.
So in addition to that, we have Juno Usher, who is Roderick's current wife, played by Ruth Codd.
I can't wait to find out where she came from.
Easily 50 years younger.
Well, they said blew my mind.
One of them said he scraped her up off the floor of a bar bathroom.
Right.
Something about that. So
on that note, if you want to watch along with us, you can head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/showimwatching the show, and join the $3 tier. It was a pensive watch along.
Yeah.
But we did have reactions to things.
Yep.
So in addition,
the moment where we realized that she was the wife, because
yeah,
we were just assuming she was another daughter.
I already knew because Will told me earlier.
It sent a shockwave through.
I could not put it together.
But once they did, Ruth Codd was quite the find.
Yeah.
She's also from Midnight Club.
Frederick's wife is Morella, and then we haven't seen if Camille has a spouse, but she has 2 assistants. And then Tamerlane's husband is Bill T, and he apparently has 10 million frothy YouTube subscribers, which was really upsetting to me. And then Victorine had a wife, or at least a girlfriend, and I don't.
Tania?
Dr. Ruiz.
Okay, yeah.
She was overseeing an operation on a monkey, and I'm terrified of
they were putting some sort of device on the heart to see if it would, like...
It's one of the things I know
recover.
about Edgar Allan Poe,
I
as
found
mentioned, that there's a story where a monkey goes berserk, and those are some of my least favorite stories.
Well, and then we also met Pym. Who's
the lawyer,
played by Mark Hamill.
Referred to as the Pym Reaper.
The Pym Reaper.
I love that.
That was quite interesting. And then we did get 3 sets of Roderick and Madeline.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was about to say we were in 3 separate times this episode, and then within that, we went to 3 separate times.
Yeah.
So we were at like 6 different.
It was a lot.
Through time, but also through this week. So the court case, it was revealed that there is a witness, but they can't or won't say who it is yet.
Yeah.
And the family doesn't know
but
who it is.
But it's supposedly an in-family informant.
And I guess there's a possibility it is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe Lenore solely because of the way that scene was framed, because they were talking
kind of
about it, but you mentioned she's seemingly a minor.
Well, I mean, I think you still could probably, but it's unlikely that they're discussing intense business in front of this minor member of their family. It seems odd that they would do that.
But it also that would also explain why she can't come forward, or why it's a secret, as if it were.
Maybe.
So I just that was a wild conspiracy I'm throwing at the wall, or a wild thought I'm throwing out there.
I don't really have a. I don't have a front runner for who I think it is.
We don't know enough.
Yeah.
That was just.
Well,
it was just based on the way the
point,
scene was framed. It caused me to be suspicious.
And at this point, they're all dead. We know that they're all dead. So who could it be? Well, but I think they're all dead because he put that bounty on it at the end.
Theory.
Who put a bounty? What?
Theory.
Roderick did.
What if there is no informant? Because.
So they'll cannibalize each other?
DuPont didn't present that to the defense, and you
Oh.
technically can't do that.
Yeah.
So then he had to be like, oh, no, that's fine. You can strike it, because I literally had the thought, I think that's funny when they do that in a court case, because of course I can't strike it from my brain.
Yeah, I still remember.
So he went, boop, and then if they can't like go forward with it, but he knows that Roderick is going to obviously get his house in order.
And that feels very Edgar Allan Poe.
It
I'm going to
does,
be
yeah.
a little mad if that's the case, because you figured that out. But
So immediately.
Yeah.
It's
we'll
good,
see.
though. That's good.
It's still, it still makes it good.
And if there
it makes
was
it more of a tragedy.
If there was any whispers of there being an issue with the company, or if the district attorney or attorney general, I think is what he is, has something that he thinks could work to kind of get them on something, he would be able to still kind of like mess it up and then get Roderick to be like, this is happening. Like something's, I don't know. I think he knows something's up. And so that's why he probably had a feeling that this was going to happen eventually, where he would sit down and give the confession.
Interesting.
So I was going to say that's what it's all building to, is that Roderick is meeting with Dupin to interview with a vampire?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're meeting in the childhood house that they were born and grew up in.
Mom is dead in the back.
And Roderick.
And apparently Madeline is downstairs.
Right? In the creepy basement. Wait.
I'm terrified of Madeline.
Was she just like cocoon herself up down there in her hair?
Well, after the 6 kids are gone, who's to say she's not dead in the basement?
I mean, maybe.
Or next.
Yeah.
Is she the telltale heart?
I don't know. Well, as soon as they said basement, I was like, is she bricked up in the wall?
Well, this opened with another brick in the wall. So far, the music cues have been
Very
brilliant, as they frequently are, and I appreciate that already the score is doing a different thing.
Yeah.
It's a very...
They all have.
Yeah. But it's a very, I mean this in a good way, but it's very pretentious. It's very...
Also, I just had another braingasm. I love that Mike Flanagan is doing this because he is a Towson University alum.
Oh, that's right.
And so I'm sure that he probably feels very
Maryland
kindred.
blood runs deep.
It does.
It runs really deep.
Should I
We're
go
small but mighty.
Should I go get my Maryland flag beach towel?
For the next.
Okay.
Let's all, I don't know. I used to have an Orioles t-shirt. I was like, let's go put on our Maryland merch for the rest of this. The other thing is that I'm calling Verna is death right now. She's coming for him.
I think she's the Raven.
But I think that's death.
So we had the check-in with Roderick and Madeline when they were kids, when their mother died. And then we checked in with them in the New Year's Eve of 1979.
Yeah.
Where they are very clearly trying to establish an alibi.
Yes.
And so they went to a bar dress.
They didn't wash their hands. There was some sort of residue on Zach Gilford's hands. Bro, act like you've been somewhere before. You buried your mom in the backyard and no one found out about it.
Don't get ahead. It's still a TV show. But
well, the look that Madeline gave him when he said their names to Verna, she was like, God damn it! Don't use our names!
Well, but then she turned right around and was like, we need to be seen here. Someone needs to know it's them.
But Verna was not sitting there when she said that. Oh, you're right.
That's what I'm like, if you need people to see you there, you need to know who they are. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, she had big Mephistopheles /
it was needful things.
Fortune teller. Yeah.
They is this bar new? It's
I've never noticed it before.
It is right down the street from the office.
Yeah, it's new.
But she sat down at the table with them and said something to them.
Yeah, it was like a lot of kind of.
It was
you are gonna change
coming.
the world.
You guys feel it.
Fortune
blah, blah,
tellery.
But it was also like, how much do you want this whiskey? Is it worth the price of your smile? Kind of energy, like. No.
Yeah, let's start a tab. The first 2 are free, and then you can start a tab.
Do you want this Sandy Koufax rookie card? You just have to go kill your mom.
It was very Faustian.
Yeah.
So
that's what Needful Things is. It's fucking the most terrifying book I've ever read.
But interesting.
It is.
I know you talk about it, but I don't know that
so
that had ever
scary.
been.
It's so scary
communicated.
because there's like multiple things about it that are so scary, and I don't have to go on a tangent if it's going to get too long, but it's like basically this man opens up an antique store, and like there's something in it that everybody in the town wants, and it's like it depends on how much they're willing to trade, whether they can get it or not. And like the locket births a humongous snake that tries to kill this woman in the shower, and like the little boy that gets the Sandy Koufax card ends up killing himself with his dad's gun in the garage. And a woman gets a carnival glass lamp, and it's like, it's insane and so upsetting and so creepy and terrifying. It was really a lot. It's so scary.
But to sort of wrap around to a point I had started making in the beginning, the moment where I thought, okay, I'm fully into this, aside from the aesthetics, which are on point as always.
Always, yeah.
It's the scene when Roderick is talking to Dopan, and was
It's
like,
French.
my mother's behind you.
Yeah.
And the fact that the camera lingered on them, so we were forced.
Well, it was just a profile of Dopan for a minute, and when he responded back that he was like, I know about these interrogation tactics, and like,
which was so good.
Yeah,
that's
you're
so
just
reasonable.
You're just trying to throw me off my game. Like,
but
this is ridiculous.
But I love that at the midway point of the first episode, we had the first confrontation of logic versus magic.
Yeah.
Because everything Dopan was saying was true, and the funny thing is like, ghost or not, it still could be a tactic.
Yeah.
Her being a ghost is irrelevant.
Yeah.
I loved that. And also, in true Mike Flanagan form, that he resisted the urge to actually make that like a jump scare. Yeah. And we just see...
She's just there in the background.
Just loitering.
And wanders out. And we don't even see her face. Like,
no.
It's like...
But it's also the way that also then Roderick was like, I don't need you to turn around. And he kind of like, he does kind of a hand gesture.
I'm not doing this for you.
Yeah,
well.
But he does kind of a hand gesture too. And I think it's at that moment, Eliza is like, okay, I'll go. Like, you're in control.
You got this.
You got this, baby boy. Like, I'll get out of here.
It's stuff like that. And that things like that are why I like Mike Flanagan so much. It reminds me of a story. Who did Rosemary's Baby? Is that,
Roman Polanski did the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
We just watched it the other night.
I've never seen it.
It was just okay.
Classics tend to be.
Will loved it.
Yeah,
I know.
Makes sense.
Yeah. He's editing this.
But there's a scene, we learned about it in film school, but there's a scene where the cinematographer, or I don't remember which, but it is off center on purpose. And one of the crew members was fighting him, and he's like, no, trust me. And when it came time for the premiere, when that scene happened, everybody in the theater went like this because they were trying to see around the doorway.
Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that when a creator or an artist can capture, when you forget you're watching something.
Yeah.
And you just are existing.
You think you're in
story.
it. Yeah.
I love that.
Well, I just like that to kind of like turn it into like dancer speak or whatever, he uses all of the stage.
Yes.
Where I think that
he fills the
people,
frame.
Yeah, so people tend to look at the thing directly in front of them, but he's encouraging you to like forget that there's other things, other places. Yeah. So,
which is why the ghosts in Hill House worked so well.
And I was like, that is actually kind of really, it's terrifying. And that was part of the reason why I did not watch that until I moved down here. Because I was like, nope, I know they're there. That scares me.
Yeah.
But I like that so much because it makes it such a richer experience because everything is being used in that way.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, well, now I know to kind of pay attention to the periphery. And so then it's like, well, I see this over here, but what am I not seeing over here? And then that makes it scarier because it's like, ugh, because it's like I can only focus on so much.
Yeah. Also, I think worth noting, we had one like big scare or like jump scare.
Yeah.
It was Roderick is going to his limo and it was a jester in the car.
Like this.
Yeah. I love it because I was hesitant about the fact that it was modern. I really wanted, in spite of my very mixed feelings about
that one Bly Manor
the
episode.
Old clothes, the certain, what is it called? The certain charm
of
the
romance of certain old clothes.
Yeah. I had issues with how that was carried out. So that aside, I had wanted this to be period, but now that it seems like some of the ghouls are gonna be a bit more
Yeah.
Oh, this is
traditional,
so gothic.
yeah.
The bar in their home is so rich and not of this world.
It feels like such a choice to have that inside to that outside of the house.
So classic interior and so
kind
modern,
of a modern
exterior. Outerior? What?
What does titular mean?
Shut up.
The only other thing I was going to do is do like a quick rundown of like kind of their places in the family, which is that Frederick is the main heir, and so he doesn't do anything because Henry Thomas.
Okay.
Because he is getting everything regardless. Camille seems like the family fixer.
And tell me the actor too.
Kate Siegel.
Okay.
She feels like the family fixer. She is rocking that fucking silver lob and the blue eyeshadow.
Neon blue, electric blue.
Yeah.
And seemingly a lace bodysuit underneath.
It's like it's famous. It's like Ivy
Thistle inspired.
Yeah.
It's all over my Instagram ad.
Yeah.
My boobs simply won't fit.
I was gonna say I don't
do it.
Think they go in there.
We might need proof.
Leo doesn't seem
$50 tier.
Just rack it up. We'll put Rachel in that.
We'll put on there.
Leo, I can't get a read on what he does. We only saw him.
Leo is
Raul Coley.
Oh.
We only saw him getting a blowjob while playing video games, and then putting that girl out on the balcony when his boyfriend came home.
It's funny.
It was very funny. Tamberlane, which is Samantha Sloyan, she seems to be doing something called Gold Bug. I can't decide if that's like part of the pharma thing or if she's doing like a goop situation.
I think it's goop.
You think it's goop? And her husband has 10 million. Yeah, Sturge. He has 10 million subscribers somewhere.
Also, he's like way more traditionally handsome than I realized in Midnight Mass because he had like the fisherman beard.
Yeah. And then Perry seems useless.
Perry is the youngest one?
Yeah, from Midnight Club.
Who wants to open
Prospero's, the bar, a tiered.
He needs Chuck Bass to come
for real
finance it.
Or the one from what's his face from You. That's all I thought about the whole time.
40?
Yeah. No. From the most recent season. The guy you like, Lucas. Is it Lucas Gage?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all of them, right? That's 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then it did end, again, there was a lot to hold on to. They were leaving
the funeral.
So
it's like, this was like at post-funeral, but pre his meeting.
Okay.
He saw the jester in the car and had a nosebleed and fell over. And then
crow.
And saw the crow. And then Madeline Raven. Sorry, yeah. Madeline was very militant about like get this doctor, get an unmarked.
Period. Madeline was very militant.
But it was
period.
like
that applies in every
unmarked ambulance, get off duty, close down the wing of the hospital if necessary. It was like a lot, and also that's why I think it's the reason he's doing this is because I think that Verna is calling in his chit, like. I did this for you in 1980 and you're done now. And so that's why he's like, I may as well confess. It's like any time now.
So, okay. That was our conversation about the first episode. We hope you enjoyed and will like and subscribe. Come back where we will be covering the whole show.
Yeah.
So, watch, like, subscribe, Patreon, Cashapp, Venmo, YouTube, all of that. So,
bye.